remember
Do you
how we
remember
met?
anything? Of course, 15 Fitzjohn's Avenue,
Oh, that's better than I remember.
Hampstead. Young musicians starting out in life, renting a flat because I was doing some work in London. It was a hot August day. Take off my shirt. I'm practicing in my underwear. And suddenly I can hear a door, keys jangling, people walking up. Oh my gosh, thank goodness I have a cello. Kathy comes up.
I had been away, came back with my boyfriend, and we opened the door and I could immediately hear cello sounds. And I remember saying to him, I wonder who that is, because there's not supposed to be anybody in the apartment. And you did look like you had no clothes on, but you did, thankfully. So that was good.
She didn't run away immediately. So the owner of the flat had rented out this flat without telling his
any of us.
apartment mates, flatmates.
Exactly. I was busy preparing for the Leeds piano competition. After we got over the initial shock, I said, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to be practicing 6-7 hours away. I had no idea who Yo-Yo was. Should also say that I didn't recognize you. I'd never heard of you.
There was nothing to recognize.
We were all kids.
We were all kids. And you taught us how to make English tea.
English tea.
With 2 tea bags, and you put, you put the milk in first. We got on like a house on fire. We became really good friends.
Yeah. What's always been really nice is that we did meet in this very strange way, and that we just started by being friends. So I think it was 6-7 years before we actually gave a concert.
Yeah. So I have a question for you. Do you believe more in accidental things that happen in life or planned things?
I like both. I think if my whole life was a series of accidents on that level, it would be a little scary.
In that sense, this is thanks to an accident. I was an accident.
You were an accident in my life. I opened a door and there you were.
That's right. Hey, Kath, just tell me, what's this about?
All right. So, for me, thinking about this album, I think it touches on many, many different things. I think this album has multiple levels. So, I'm not sure exactly what the first kernel of thought was. But Yo-Yo and I have always been interested in connections. Yo-Yo was born in Paris. I had many, many teachers in my early life that all came from Paris, from the Paris Conservatoire, used to come regularly to my school. My love of Fauré was already present in my life at the age of 10. Our love of teaching in many different ways.
And I think that's a feature of, the way you like to teach, right? You demand things of your students, you figure out what they need, but you also recognize where their talents, where their strengths are, right? But that's what great teachers do. And the importance of great teaching is absolutely crucial in the transmission of anything that is good. Now I have to get personal for a second. Because early in our relationship, you may observe that I like to talk a lot.
Oh, no.
And Kathy often, these days especially, it just says, shut up. I was brought up not talking. I was brought up in an Asian family where, nobody asks you what you think. You just do as you're told. I had to practice thinking and actually identifying that maybe I had an opinion about something. And especially with music, where so much of music is in a non-linguistic mode. You're trying to communicate through sound and through feelings and whatever. But to try and describe musical intention in words was something that I was striving to do, possibly from school, from other means. And so early on in relationship, we would be playing and I would try and say, okay, so what does this mean and whatever. And Kathy would just get so exasperated.
I would just say, can we just play it again? Can we just play?
But you said something, this is private. For 40 years, I've been struggling with saying, what does she mean by private? And I'm beginning to understand, because I think a lot of Fauré's music is in the realm of private.
You know, when I've read about him, one of his great things that he spoke about very often was nuance and subtlety. It's not necessarily something in your face. You have to really seek it out. You have to really find it. So I think it's taken time to sort of really get under the skin of it, because it seems fragile, but it's just incredibly sensitive.
And if you read letters from Boulanger and Fauré, Saint-Saëns, all of that, 19th century, you read people's letters, it's all about discussing their private thoughts. And when you said private, that is such a big part of, I think, your artistry, your way of doing things. You have this huge well of private that goes along with an incredibly disciplined, structured approach to life and practicing and delivering something that is absolutely solid, but you keep that private part
I think I
very,
just don't
very
have
alive.
To verbalize everything.
Exactly. That's why I'm verbalizing it, so that you don't need to verbalize it.